Have you seen kind of the confidence boost over this last 2 games?
Yeah, obviously we're moving the right direction. We've had two pretty good defensive games, and we've made some shots, and things have a way of looking a little bit better when the ball goes in.
If you look at while you made them take more of those tough twos than they had when they started the season, why do you think you've been able to do that?
That's part of what our defense is designed to do. We're trying to get the best possible shot we can, and we're trying to force them into an analytically difficult shot. And long twos are the worst shot in the game of basketball. And the more we can stay away from them and force the other team into them, the better chances that we have to win. Doesn't mean you're going to win every one, but I think it helps your chances.
I think the opponents know that you're going to try to do that to Kalkbrenner and the coverage that you have. What do you think contributes to your players executing that as effectively?
Well, I mean, it starts with the two guys involved in the ball screen. The guy guarding the ball screen has to be shifty and get himself through that ball screen so we don't have to keep our five-man on an island forever. And then secondly, you got a guy like Kalkbrenner that's savvy enough, that understands when you might have to switch it, when you got to challenge it, when you can stay back, when you have to leave your feet, when you can wall up. He's elite at that. So that's why the defense is a little bit better when he's in there compared to Fred, because Fred's still learning.
You got to pile up wins however you can in the games. You have 3 straight at home after Hawaii and everything. How big is that to get this?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. We haven't had any really. We haven't had an extended stretch at home since the middle of November. So it's nice to have these games at home, and especially coming off the Christmas break here, it was kind of a hassle getting guys everywhere they needed to be and getting them back with some of the airline problems. So it's nice that we're not preparing to travel this week, that we can just focus on ourselves, focus on our opponent, and play a home game.
Before the numbers increased, it used to be coaches used to say all the time that transfers would take about Christmas conference play before they kind of got comfortable with everything. When you look at, on paper, it looks like Baylor and Baylor are kind of following that roadmap. Do you notice that they're a little more comfortable than they were earlier?
Yeah, I think you're going to get a little more comfortable with each passing game, but that now that we have so much time in the summer, it's a little easier for guys to get acclimated, especially if you can get him here. Now, Bello wasn't here right away. He was about a month later than normal. But Baylor was able to get here and get acclimated this summer, and I think it's helped him. But it's, for Baylor, you step up a level in competition, so you're adjusting to that, and Bello's adjusting to a different league and a different style of play and system than he played in at TCU. But without question, they're both impacting us in a positive way.
So then I guess have you adjusted the way you use them, or have they just figured out how to be more effective? When their numbers are more efficient, I figure it has to be for something.
Well, when the shot goes in, it's more efficient. When it doesn't, it's not efficient at all. So, we can break down this game as much as you want, but it's a make shot, miss shot game. That's at the end of the day. And if you're getting good shots and if you make them, you got a great chance to win. If you don't, then you got to fight your tail off and hope you can find a different way to win.
2 more. What have you kind of seen out of the Dean Holloway coach team?
Yeah, obviously he was at Seton Hall as an assistant with Kevin for a long time, so I've known him forever. Did a terrific job at St. Peter's in a short period of time, and now he's, coaching his tail off. Just had a great win against Rutgers on the road, a very difficult place to win, and had a near miss at home against Providence and another one at Xavier, and then not a lot of people are going to win in Milwaukee this year, so there's no shame in that one. He hard-nosed, tough-minded defensive team, force a lot of turnovers, get to the foul line a lot, and we try to keep people off the foul line, so something's got to give.
What's going to be really difficult about that matchup with finding ways to defend Kadari and getting away from him?
Yeah, he's a hard one to defend. He's got such great size and physicality, got a way of drawing fouls, and we'll have to mix up our coverages on him and put some different guys on him, use quickness, use length some, but he plays at such a good pace that he's can still be difficult to guard, especially if he's making threes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Has it felt good just to kind of start to string together some good games after the stretch you guys went through?
Yeah, for sure. It's just high relief for everybody, fan base, us as well. But I mean, we kind of knew a kind of outbreak like that was coming. We kind of tried to stick together and then try to make it through that little hard time just so we could make ourselves more attached towards the end of the season. So we just want to play our best brand of basketball at the right time, and that's what we're trying to do.
Having time now to reflect on the 30 ball, I guess, what do you take away from it and what you did well and how things you maybe look at moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. Just a sign of confidence. I mean, obviously I haven't had the best stretch before that. And I mean, that just going into that game, like coaching staff, everybody was just telling me to keep my confidence. That's kind of what I tried to do. My teammates got me the ball in the spots that I wanted it at, and I mean, that's just kind of what it was. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like it was just the greatest game ever, but I mean, it was one of my better games of my college career, and I mean, obviously I'm going to look back on it as a big memory of mine for sure.
Sure. Do you feel like now, days removed and having heard stuff and seen things, do you feel like it was expected out of you to be able to put a performance like that together? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like everybody in our starting five has a chance to be able to put up a number like that on any given night. Just depending on who has the ball rolling that night. I mean, R2 had a couple games where he had 20. Art obviously had a 28-point game. Ryan's had a couple 20-point games. Baylor had 20-point games. And I mean, I feel like I was the only one that hadn't done that yet. So, I mean, I'm glad to join the party with that one. So, that was great.
As a whole, is it just good confidence-wise to see the ball go through the net the way it has?
Oh, yeah, for sure. These last couple games, I think we shot the ball very well from three. Also, just as a team, like, I feel like our camaraderie is kind of building. The practices that we have been more intense, more team bonding type of practices. So, I mean, it's really good. I feel like we're definitely getting to a situation that we want to be in, and I feel like everybody's already put all their marbles in. So, I mean, we're ready. We're locked in as a team, and that's just what we want to be at.
Is there anything different from you inside the arc in terms of playmaking and finding your spots?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody works out. Everybody at this level is kind of figuring out where their spots are and how they get their bread and butter. And I mean, first off, I just like to, inside of the arc, feel like I'm very good at finding those spots with me. Whenever I feel like I have my rhythm, I feel like I can get those spots anytime I want to. Coming off the pick and roll, I mean, I have a lot of shooters around me. I have big Kalk on the pick and roll. So, I mean, I have a well amount of options to have when I come off the pick and roll. So, I mean, it's just whatever the defense gives me, and then that's what I'm taking. So.
Is a game like DePaul and a game like Butler where you're facilitating and hitting shots, is that as much of a confidence booster as the 7 threes, considering that's kind of a big part of it?
Yeah, for sure. That's a big part of my game, as you said. Just seeing some guys make some shots off of my read, it gives me a lot of confidence, and I feel like it gives them confidence as well. So it's a boost for both of us, and I mean the team's morale as a whole. When you have multiple amount of guys that can create for themselves and their teammates, I mean it's kind of hard to stop. So.
With the way the Big East is kind of playing out this year, how important is it to protect home court?
Oh, yeah, this stretch right here was big for us, this 3-game home stretch. We definitely have to close it out for us to be in a good position that we want to be in going into 2 hard away games in Xavier and in UConn. So, I mean, it's just very, very big that we keep this stretch going, and then we try to play our best basketball and be able to compete with those 2 teams after this. But right now we're worried about, like you said, that this homestand, the end of this homestand. So that's the biggest thing for us. That's what we're locked in on.
How needed was this homestand just to be playing in front of home fans, especially after so many?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's big. I mean, obviously we had a big road schedule this year. We had a little lapse, and I mean, this right here happened at the perfect time for us to get our rhythm back, our fans to help us do that and play in front of the best fans in the country. I mean, for us to just build on that would be something very big for us moving forward and kind of for a tournament look as well. So.
I know it's been a couple games now since you've been back, but have you seen the impact that Kalkbrenner has, and how much difference he probably would have made in that game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously you can come with the woulda, coulda, shoulda type of deal. Like if Kalkbrenner's playing this game, this could have happened, but that's just kind of how it happened. And I mean, I feel like that stretch right there was needed for us. I feel like a couple guys kind of came together and they kind of looked at it as like, oh, like I have to buy in all the way. And I feel like when Kalkbrenner got back, that was when all 5 of us kind of started to click. The first 6 games of the season, I felt like we were at a certain point where we were getting close to that, and then like we kind of went away from that. And so just to get back to that is very big for our team, and I feel like it's going to be big for us going into this future stand that we have in away games.
One more for Trey.
I've been just feeling a lot better. I feel like the sickness is all the way out of me. I just got to get back into shape. So it's a pretty normal thing. Just got to work at it.
How frustrating was it watching those games in Vegas, knowing that you could probably contribute to wins but not being able to play?
I mean, I think any player would get frustrated, sit on the bench, especially in a close game, and you feel like you can make up a few points. But, I mean, it'll be okay. You can't control it sometimes, so just got to move on.
So I kind of said you guys started to get that chemistry going for the first 6 games, then kind of disrupted by your absence. What's it going to take to kind of get back to that spot?
I think even starting with the practices right after the Marquette game, we started to turn that corner, getting back to it. I think it's been much better since those practices. So I think we've built on it every day since, and I think we just keep with the same attitude that we've had, we'll be fine and we'll be back there.
When did you first start feeling better? Was it over in Maui or when you got back for the Texas game? Or when did all that take place?
I started feeling sick like when we were traveling back from Maui, but I just assumed I had a cold because I think everyone had a cold at that point. And, I was a little tired, but it was also like just played 3 games in 3 days and traveled. So I was just saying, felt like it was normal, and then it started lingering around, and we were like, okay, something's up.
When you played Nebraska, what was your state of your health then that game?
I was never really like feeling sick. I was just, all my energy was drained. So, I mean, I didn't feel too bad, but I just couldn't get up and down the court very well. Yeah.
What you've seen so far defensively on the team in terms of how connected you guys are and how well you're executing those game plans?
I think it's been a lot better the past few games. We watched some clips from last year's team, how we just kind of got a little bit away from flying around and helping each other out on defense, and I think we're starting to get back to that. And we're, like I was saying earlier, if we keep the same attitude about figuring out how to help each other, we'll be back to playing defense the way we were last year.
Does I guess it help when you put reps on film and you see how it feeds into everything else? Does that help everybody buy in a little better, I guess?
I think it does. I think sometimes you kind of get lost in the season. You don't realize that you're not doing this little thing that you were doing last year, and then all of a sudden it's another little thing. Those start to add up. Then when you see it on film and you see how we were doing it last year, then it kind of helps, like, okay, we need to get back to that and get playing hard like that.
Obviously, Fred has a lot more basketball to play to pick up some of the instinctive things, but I guess what do you think of him while you were out?
I mean, he's going to be such a good player. He's just really young right now. I mean, 18 years old. He's not going to know all the little things that, I know from playing my 3rd year of college basketball. So I think that's pretty much what everyone saw, that he's got it all. Like, he will be really good. He's just got to get a little more experience under his belt.
Yeah. And how much were you in his ear during that stretch trying to help him out?
Sorry, what?
How much were you in his ear during that stretch trying to help him out?
I mean, just whenever I saw something, I'd say something. He's not the kind of player that won't listen. So as long as whenever I saw something, just went up and said it to him.
This homestand kind of come at a perfect time for you guys, just given coming off those losses, your return, and before 2 big road games.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice to be in your own bed and be in your own place, and lets you feel a little bit comfortable trying to right the ship a little bit. So it's definitely a really good time for that.